Yo, what's up guys? Back again with another video in the TI Basic series. This episode we're going to be going over how to use the input and output commands inside of TI Basic. Yeah. So what we'll be able to do is actually output things to the screen like messages, like numbers, all kinds of cool stuff. And then we can get input from the user, which is basically a way of getting information like user numbers from the user and like letters and all kinds of crazy stuff, okay? So yeah, it's pretty easy, but it's also very useful. We can do lots of things with it in the future. Yeah, so let's get started. So for this, we're actually just going to code inside of the calculator a little bit. We might switch over to the TI Connect software, but we're just going to use this for now. So make sure you have your calculator out, plugged in, and everything. Oh, you don't have to plug it in, I guess, if you're using it. But anyway, so yeah. So first we have the display command. It's also called disp. That's what the command is. And this command is the most basic command that allows you to output things to the screen. This includes like a line of text, a number, a string, a list, a matrix, or even other kinds of all kinds of things like all together. But we're gonna start off with text and numbers and strings and all kinds of stuff. But we're not gonna go over lists and matrices and the other like variable types or data types because those are a little more complex and we haven't learned them yet. So yeah. So anyway, it's very simple because it's able to print everything on a new line, which is cool, but it doesn't allow you to choose the location of where to output it. So it's going to print things on the screen, but it's going to be line by line. You can't do it on different. You can't like put it over here on the screen, like down there. You can't choose where you want it, basically. So yeah, we already use this command in the past, maybe last episode or something like that, first episode too. But we're going to learn it even more, so we're going to go ahead and use it again. So yeah, so let's go ahead and look at some of the different things we can output to the screen by making a program. So we're going to go to program, we're going to make a new one. So let's go to new, create new. We're going to call it Hi World 2, which is basically Hello World number 2. So I named it, so we're going to press enter. So now we're on the first line and we could, let's go ahead and clear the screen by doing clear home. So let's go to program, IO, and then down to number 8. Or we can just press 8, And there we got clear home, so we'll go enter, make a new line. And then so we can use the display now. So let's go program, and then IO for input and output. And then we can find disp, that's the display command right there, so enter. And now we can display anything we want. So like I said, we can do strings, we could do like letters, those are strings, or we could do numbers. And then we could also do like equations too, and you'll see in a second. But we're going to start off with a string. And if you don't know, a string is basically what we did last time. It's just a bunch of letters and stuff. And whenever you're using letters inside of here, that's called a string. So you have to surround it by double quotes. So like this, we have to find the quote thingy right here. So that's the plus, and then we can put the message inside of here. So if you're editing inside of the TI Connect software, you can obviously just type any letter you want, like lowercase and uppercase. But on here, doing lowercase is a little different, so I'm not going to show you right now. But yeah, we're gonna type everything in all caps, I guess, because we're using calculator, so. So yeah, type whatever you want to, and then yeah. So we could type hello world. Okay, so I tapped it out, so enter to go to a new line. And so we can go ahead and run this program if you want to. So let's do second mode, and then we'll go back to program here, and then we can execute hi world 2. Enter again, and there we go. So it says hello world, and then done. Like if you don't know, if you put the pause command at the end, it won't do done until you press enter again. So yeah. So anyway, so we're gonna go back to our program. Oh wait, we want to edit it, not run it. Let's see. Edit. Hi world 2. Okay, so let's go back to the third line. And so now that we know how to do strings, we can output strings to the thing. We can also output numbers. So it can be whole numbers, it can be decimal numbers, it can be whatever you want. So yeah, so we have to find the display command again. Okay, disp, and then we could do like 1337.42 if you want to, anything you want. So that works, and also we could do like, so that will work. So these will be on two separate lines if we run this. But if we, hold on 1 second. Okay, so these two right here, these two display commands, it's going to output hello world and this one on two different lines because that's how display works. Everything that you display is going to be on a new line. That's why you can't specify the location of where you want the text to be or the numbers to be displayed. So yeah. So anyway, we could also display like equations, I guess. I think it's an equation, I don't know. but like anything like that, an expression, I guess you could call it. So 6 times 9, you know, so we could output that if we want to. So let's go ahead and run this program. Second mode to quit. Then we could go back to program, run hi world, and it's going to do everything on a new line. And also, if you don't know, numbers will be displayed on the right side of the screen, while strings will be displayed on the left side of the screen. So that's interesting. But anyway, so now that we know how to basically output anything we want to on the screen, we can also learn how to optimize this command by outputting multiple things at once. So this will allow us to save space and execute everything at once with one command. So let me show you how to do that. So if we go to program, and we'll just go back to the one we were just doing. We gotta edit it. Boom. Okay, so let's say we want to have all of this, all of these three, like, look, we're displaying three things with all like the same command, but all in 3 lines. It's a little hard to explain. So let's say we want to conserve space, right, in our program by putting all three of these things on one line, right, with one display command. So we can delete these here. I'm not sure if I'm doing it efficiently, probably not, but there you go, deleting all that. So we can go back up now. Oh, it's a little laggy, gotta wait a second. Okay, so we'll go to the end here. So if you want to add something else to here, another item, I guess you could call it, you put a comma, and then you type whatever you want to add. So we could add another string, we could add another number, anything you want to add. So we could do like 133.4.5. It doesn't have to be a decimal, so yeah. And then comma for another one. We could add 6 times 9 again, 6 times 9, and then yeah. So let's try running this. Hopefully we don't get any errors, you know. Let's clear the screen here. Program, world 2, boom. So yeah, it all works. And yeah, so it's run out all on one line basically. I mean, they're all on 3 lines still, but like basically when you have the program, all the code is on one line. That's the efficient part, you know. It's still gonna do the same thing, but it saves space inside the program editor basically. So yeah, so I know last episode I might have briefly gone over the pause command, but I want to make it clear what it's used for. So let's go back to our program here, edit. If we were to run a program like this one, for example, at the end of execution, the program would just stop and output a message saying done. We've already seen that before. I explained that a second ago. So this could be very annoying because sometimes it will move stuff off the screen if you're using like display or something like that. It's because it's going to scroll down once it runs out of space. And yeah, so anyway, therefore the user might not get a chance to read some text or something like that. And it's just plain annoying. Like having that done message there, it's really stupid. So to fix this, the pause command will pause your program until either you stop it forcefully with the stop command or by pressing enter to get rid of the pause command and display done. So I know that was a lot, but let's go ahead and add the pause command. It's going to be in, I think it's going to be here somewhere. Maybe not control. Let's try. Yeah, it's going to be control, I believe. Oh yeah, it's right there. Number 8. Oh man, this is so laggy. Okay, so 8 right there. And so now it's paused. Make sure you have the space after. And yeah, so we can go ahead and run this now. So second mode, and then program, execute, hi world 2, boom. And then it displays it without the done message at the end. So it looks way more clean. And yeah, so hopefully you like that. Hopefully that makes sense. So yeah, that's why you use pause. So also sometimes when you make programs, you might want to show them something and then have them wait before you display the next thing so they can read it and then read the next thing. So maybe you could use the pause command to make things as sort of like layers, I guess. Let me show you. I'm not good at explaining, of course, so let's get out of here. Oh yeah, press enter to get rid of that. So go back to program. We're going to go ahead and make a new program. I'm going to call it try pause, I guess. Okay, so let me type all that out. Okay, so I typed it out. There we go. Try pause. Okay, so we can now start programming. So let's go ahead and clear home again. You always want to clear home just in case you have something on the screen from last time. And then we could add like display here. Let's go ahead and output like a display. So we could do IO display. Boom. Okay, we could have a message here. We could say like press enter to continue or something like that. So let me type all that out. Okay, so now that we have that, we're gonna add a pause thing here. So pause. So it's going to say press enter to continue, and then it's going to wait for the user to press enter, obviously. And then once it presses enter, it'll cancel the pause, and then it'll let them read the next message, which will say well done. So we'll go ahead and find that, display, and then I'm going to type out well done. Okay, good. So we're done with that. So let's go ahead and run the program, second mode, program, try pause, and there we go. Boom. So it says press enter to continue. So it's not going to run the line after the pause yet until we press enter. Boom. And now it's going to say well done and then done. Because we didn't add pause to the end, so it's going to say done, of course. So yeah. So now we're going to learn the output command, which will allow you to output things to the screen, but this time you can choose the location of where you want to actually output it. So that's good. So let's go ahead and clear the screen, and I have to explain something too. So the home screen right here has 16 columns and 8 rows, each of which can contain a space or any character such as a letter, number, or symbol, okay? So what I mean by that, so 16 columns, the column is this way, horizontal, so like think of it as like pixels basically, or this little blinking thing right here, that's like a character, so 16 of these all the way across, okay? And then downwards we have 8 of these, okay? So 16 by 8, okay? So that's how we're going to be able to change the location of certain things in our programs. So that's how we specify the locations. So this next part's going to get a little confusing, so let's go ahead and go into the TI Connect software. You don't have to, you can do it all on your calculator if you want to, but it's just confusing because I have to type out a lot of different things. So it's way easier for me just to type it out on my computer. So yeah, we're here in the software and we made a new program. We're going to call it output, okay? Awesome. And then so to run the output command, we could find it inside of the, let's see, program, and then input output, and then it's right here, output. Okay, so the output command actually takes 3 arguments, okay? So the first argument is going to be your row argument, so there's 8 of them, of course, so 1 through 8. And then the next one is 1 through 16, so it's your column. So you're basically choosing the location, the row and column of where you want it. It's like a coordinate system, basically. And the next one, the third argument, can be what you want to display, like a string, a number, mathematical expression, or a variable, anything you want to display, okay? So basically like the, what's it called? The display command, whatever you want to display. But this time we get to choose the location, of course, with the first 2 arguments. So I know that's a lot, but if you look down here on your software, you see it tells you exactly the arguments and how they work. So you'd put a number here, and then text here if that's what you want, or number, just any value. But anyway, so there's that if you want to see it. I'll put that in the description maybe so you can check it out. But it's all down here anyway. It tells you what you need to have. So anyway, so now I'm going to show you a program that will print out hello world to the screen, but in the center of the screen, okay? So we're going to go ahead and clear home the screen. So we're going to do, where is it? Ah, okay, clear home right there. And then we're going to put the output command back, so output. And so to put in the center, it's going to be about like 4, 6. And then the third one will be the message that we want to output, of course. So hello world, hello world. Okay, and you don't have to close it off with parentheses or these quotes here, but I just recommend you to do it. I don't know, doesn't really matter. So yeah, that's how you do that. So and then we could output. Actually, we could do hello on one line and then world on the next line. So 4, 6 will be the first one. We could output. We could just copy this if you want to. Then we can output 5, 6 for the next line. There we go. Awesome. And then we're going to pause so they can stare at it for a second. Awesome. Okay. So what this will do again is just print out hello world to the center of the screen by having these 2 positioning thingies right here. It's basically like a coordinate system, like I said, 16 by 8. So yep, that's all that. So let's go ahead and run this on our calculator simulator here, or you can run it on your calculator by sending it with this button here. So I'll be right back. I'll run it on my other calculator. Okay, so I loaded the program to this calculator simulator, and so we can run it here. It's right here, number 3, output, and enter again to run it, and there we go. So we get hello world. Well, it's not that centered, but it's kind of in the middle, I guess. So anyway, also some screens are different sizes, I believe. Depends on the calculator you have, because some are bigger, some are smaller. The TI-83, TI-84, TI-84 Plus, all those different calculators. Okay, there's a bunch of different models, but yeah. So I recommend you just play around with it. You know, try and move it over a couple pixels or whatever. Just increase the number and all that. So anyway, y'all get the point. You can position your stuff now and choose the message, the number, anything you want to output. It's not just strings that you can output. You can also do numbers, but you don't have to surround the numbers with parentheses, obviously. I mean quotes. So we can also display numbers and strings on the same line, which was with the display command we actually couldn't do. So if we go back here to our program, we could do that. So let's say you want to display a string and a number on the same line, right? Let's go ahead and put this on 1 1. So we could say hello and then put a number here if we want to. So we could do 1 and then like 12. So we say like the answer is, and then we could say we'll put this at 112 and then the answer will be 42. That will be the thing we're displaying. So we're just going to display this number after on the same line because it's going to be on 1 1. 1 1 is specifying the row, of course. So that's on the same row, of course. So yeah, I'm going to run this on my calculator and I'll be right back. I'm here. I'm going to press 3 to run it. Boom. Okay, so we get the answer is 42. I kind of put it in the wrong spot, but if we move it over like 2 times, I think it'll be good. So anyway, that's how you do that. You just have it on the same row, of course. So now that we have gone over how to display things on the screen, I can show you how to gather input from the user in TI Basic. Well, gathering input simply means that you can ask the user to display a number or something, or type a number or something into the calculator, and then you can take that data and actually do something with it. In the future, you can use if statements to depend. You can basically choose how your calculator is going to run depending on the input they just gave you. It's kind of confusing if you don't know what that means, but if you don't know what an if statement, don't worry, we'll be learning that later. So anyway, so we can actually get the user's input right now and display it back to them with the display command and the input command and all that kind of stuff. So don't worry, it's kind of confusing, but it's really easy actually. So yeah, it's a very important part of programming because you can base the program's actions on the user's wishes, basically. So the first way we could do this is by using the prompt command, which is one of the input commands. So if you want to do that, let's go back to our software here, and we'll get rid of all this. So we have the prompt command, okay? So we'll find it right here. So to use the command, you have to provide a variable to set the input number the user gave you. Basically, you give it a variable like any letter or data, of course. Like we learned out last episode, the basic variables, right? That's why I taught you that, because with this, when they give you a number, it's going to set it to that variable, and then you can use that variable however you want to. So if you know what I mean, I'll show you. So we're going to make a new program actually. So we'll do plus here. We're going to call it input. There we go. And so we can use, well actually we're going to clear the home first, clear the screen, and then we can use prompt here, okay? So let's say we're going to ask the user for something, right? You would do prompt and then choose a variable. So we're going to do X for some reason. We're just going to choose X. And then, yeah, that's all it's going to do is ask the user to input something, and then it's going to store whatever they input into the variable X. So let's go ahead and test that. We're going to save this here, and then I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm about to run it right here. So as you can see, it says X equals question mark. So it's saying, what do you want to store in X? So we're going to store 400, okay? So 400 is now stored in X if we press enter, and that's it for the program. It just says done because that's all we wanted it to do. So, well, first of all, we're going to add pause here so it doesn't say done next time. We didn't actually want that. Okay, so make sure I have the space after. And so yeah, so let's say we want to take the user's input and store it into X and then display it back to him for some reason, okay? So we could use display. So we could display a variable if you don't know. So we could do display and then X, okay? So it's just going to take the variable name or take the variable number, store it into that variable, and then give it back to them. So I'll put it to them. So that's not too confusing. So let's go ahead and run that and I'll be right back. Okie dokie, so I got it on here. And then we're going to run it now. Boom, so let's go 400 or 45, lol. Boom, and it says 45 right back to us. And it's not going to be done until we press enter again because we're using pause, of course. So as you can see, the calculator prompted me for a number, and when I entered that number, it was set to the variable letter X. So anyway, it's just displayed back to me. So now let's say we need to gather a bunch of numbers from the user for our program for any reason, okay? So of course we could simply do a bunch of prompt commands one after the other, but it's easy to do it all in one line, basically like what you did with the display command. So we can do that. So let's go back to our software here. So let's say we want to ask them for a bunch of different variables, a bunch of different values, okay? So we can do prompt and then comma, and then we could have whatever variables we want. So we could do x, we could do f, we could do b, anything we want, as many as we want, I think. Just nothing crazy. You don't want to overload your calculator. So yeah, that's going to ask for all those variables, and then we could do whatever we want with them. So we could display them like this too. Uh, F and then B, display them all right back. So let's go ahead and do that. I'll be right back. Okay, so running it here. So it's going to say x equals what, and then we could say like 2. And it's going to say f equals what, and then we say 8. It's going to say b equals what, we can say 78. Boom, and it's going to display all three of them back to us, okay? So that's how that works. You can display, we'll basically shorten the commands up by doing it all in one line. So it's much more efficient, basically. So yeah. So now that we know how to use the most basic input command prompt, we can go ahead and learn the better of the two commands, the input command itself. It's actually called input. So what this one will do is allow you to choose what text will be displayed in front of the prompt so that the user can have a better idea of what the calculator is even asking for. So we can say if we remember what it says here, it just says x equals question mark. We can display what it wants to say instead of x. So we could say give me your age equals question mark, something like that. Anything we want, right? So if we want to do that, we use the input command. So with the input command, it'll just replace the variable name with whatever you want to set it to be. So let's go back to our software here. And we're going to replace, let's get rid of this. We're going to replace prompt with input, okay? So if we want to learn how to use input, of course we can go down here and then look at the different ways to use it. So yeah, we could use like a string and ask them. So the first way we would use it is by doing having the string. So we could say what is your age? Okay, so that's the first parameter basically. And so the next thing you put a comma and then you put the variable you want to set it to, of course, like we did last time. So h we want to set it to maybe, or a for age. Okay, so we can say what is your age and then comma a. And there we go. So let's go ahead and run this. Oh yeah, it's going to display a back to us. We could say, well, we could do like this maybe. Your age is, comma, a. So yeah, you don't have to have a space here, I don't think. But anyway, so I'm going to go ahead and save this and I'll be right back and we'll see if it works. Okay, so let's run the program, of course. Boom. So again, what is your age? Oh, I guess it doesn't put the question mark for us, so we know that for the future. So we could do 44, enter, and it says your age is 44. So awesome, that really works. So as you can see, that's actually pretty cool. You can get input from the users and do whatever you want with it, you know? And the last program we're going to make one more program. This is just going to be a simple program that has a conversation with you, okay? So if you're crazy and want to talk to a calculator, this is the program for you. So we're going to call it convo for conversation. Boom. And then, so we're going to clear home, of course. And we're going to display hello, what is your, and then we're just going to leave a space here because the next line will ask for the name. So hello, what is your, and then input name. Boom. And we're going to store that into, well, we're going to store it into a string variable. If you don't know what string variables are, we can go back to our calculator here. And let's get out of here. So if we go to variables, and then go back down to 7, we have a bunch of these string variables stored here. Oh wait, I went to the wrong thing, I think. So vars 7 for strings. Oh, there we go. So we have all these string variables, right? So it goes down to 10. So with these, we could actually store strings into. We've worked with strings before, right? Displaying basically letters. So we can use these basically like we would use all these letters to store variables. So instead of storing numbers in here, we would store strings. So to do that, you would use it the same way you would use the store key for storing variables. So anyway, we're going to use it in our program to store the name of this person, because so we can choose any of those 10 values. So we're going to use string 1, so string 1. So if you actually want to find it in here in the software, you could go to variables, variables, string, and then you have all 10 of these right here. So we could choose whatever one we want. So that's how we do that. So we can store into string 1 the name of the person, and then we could use that. We could actually ask for the input name, of course. So age. So we can ask for their age now. And so we could say, we can store that into A, and then we're going to clear home again. I'll just type it out, clear home, boom, and then we're going to pause. Oh no, we're not going to pause. We're going to say, hello, display, hello. It's going to say, hello, your name, so string 1, and then space, you are so your age, years old. So I know this is a little confusing probably, but don't worry. So it's basically just taking your input and displaying it back to you, okay? That's all it's doing, so don't worry. And then we're going to add pause to the end, boom. So I'm going to save this and I'll run it. So it's loading here. Okay. So we can go ahead and open up programs here. So we'll go down to Convo, which is actually 1, so press 1. I'm going to run it now. So it says, hello, what is your name? So we could type out the name now. We could do, my name is Cody, so I'll do alpha K. Where's the K? Ooh, K. O. Let's see. Where's the D? The D. Oh yeah. No homo. Y. So KODY. So enter just to submit that. Oh, we got an error. Oh no. Oh, I see the error here. We didn't add a comma after the age. So I mean, it's always something simple like that. So we're gonna go ahead and run this again. Save it all that. Just gonna ask for age. I'm gonna say 17. Boom. Fuck, we get another error. Crap. Oh, I think it's this. We have a comma here for no reason. Dang it, man. That sucks. But don't worry, we're okay. And then we have a bunch of random commas here for some reason. Oh wait, yeah, we need those actually. Okay, cool. Aye. Sorry about that, so I'll be right back. So KODY, so K, where's the K? Then we get the O, then we get the D, then we get the Y. Okay, enter. Then we can put 17 for my age. Boom, says you are 17 years old. So it's interesting how it puts the 17 on the edge. I know it does that, but anyway, so that's how we do that. So it says you are 17 years old, and that's how we can do that. So yeah, that's actually it. That's all I have for you. So now you know how to display things and output things, or no, output things and then input things in your calculator. So hopefully that wasn't too confusing. Hopefully you understood it. If you have any questions, just leave a comment and I'll help you. And we also have a Discord that's in the description if you're enjoying that too. Yeah, so if you have any questions, just ask and subscribe if you want to see more. Leave a like if you liked it. And peace.